All over, we hear Laken Riley's death was a failure of the system. He slipped through the cracks. That's simply not true. The system worked as designed. Ibarra was able to cross the border illegally. He was released by Border Patrol. He made his way to New York and allegedly committed a crime there, only to be released. System kept working exactly the way both President Biden at the federal level, Kathy Hochul at the state level, and at the New York City level wants it to work. He left one sanctuary city, New York City, for another and committed crimes allegedly in Athens, Georgia. But time and time again, the system worked. He ended up back on the streets, and he's not the only one. In Virginia, another illegal immigrant from Venezuela allegedly sexually assaulted a minor in Washington, D.C. Our sources at ICE tell us the man accused of shooting 3 D.C. police officers is an illegal immigrant from Jamaica. He was previously deported for crimes he committed. A decade ago, he was deported. He made his way back. In Inglewood, Florida, police arrested an illegal immigrant just yesterday for sexual battery. And in Massachusetts, another illegal immigrant is facing charges for rape because he allegedly raped a child in Delaware and had snuck back into the country. George Wills here, NewsNation senior political contributor. Look, it's important to point out not all immigrants are criminals and on and on and on. But at the same time,
indeed, they have a very good record relative to the native population.
Right. No, they do. And at the same time, we see this situation where you have people coming from Venezuela, one of the most violent countries on earth, and being allowed to then just come into the United States. Look, the video of the 4 cops being beaten up by immigrants in New York City, this case, now the additional cases we just pointed out, we always hear the debate is changing about immigration. Is it?
Yes, graphic journalism is changing it, just as the police dogs in Birmingham in 1963 changed that debate. And when you can put a face on a problem, like the face of Ms. Riley, just as the face of Emmett Till, when the Chicago boy, when he was murdered in 1955 in Mississippi, changed forever the civil rights debate.
We've seen this happen before, right? There have been other young women in particular who were murdered by illegal immigrants, and that was going to be an inflection point, and it turned out not to be. Maybe this will be. I think it's interesting to look at where Democrats are on this. This is Katie Porter, Congresswoman running for Senate in California, last night on CNN.
Whenever we're dealing with violent crime, there is a sense of outrage, of sadness, and of loss. But I think the important thing to focus on is any one instance shouldn't shape our overall immigration policy.
How is what is effectively, and I think reasonable people can agree, effectively we have an open border. How has an open border become a sacred cow for the left?
Well, because they have a real problem, because here are people dying to get into our country that they describe as a racist hellhole of a country. So they have an immediate problem. Second, they don't like enforcement. They don't like enforcement of laws. And they don't like the idea that we should in some way privilege the people who are already here. Leland, this is our 3rd national episode on immigration. In the 19th century, it was tinged with religious bigotry because so many, after the potato famine in Ireland, came here. They were Catholics. In the early 1920s, in the 20th century, there was nativism. There were Southern Europeans and Eastern Europeans, and people thought that was going to change our Anglo-Saxon nature. This is different. Americans, I don't think, are against immigrants. They're against disorder. They're against the fact that an essential attribute of national sovereignty, control of the border, is missing.
Yeah, I think about it. Look, my grandmother came through Ellis Island. I think about my great-grandparents who came through as well. I don't hear anyone talking about closing the door. What I hear about is order, and now that illegal immigration has been matched with lawlessness, which we are seeing explode, suddenly this is a discussion not about immigration, it's a discussion about crime. Bill Clinton talked about this all the way back in 1995, and I think it's interesting, especially when you really listen to his words.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. We must do more to stop it.
Democratic president, bipartisan applause, illegal aliens. Some Republicans feel uncomfortable saying that term.
I know that, but Katie Porter was very interesting just then because she knows this is deadly for her and deadly for people of her persuasion. The simple truth is most Americans, like immigrants, they can't stand disorder. Everything that's happening in America now just tells Americans disorder. Inflation tells them the currency isn't orderly, isn't stable. When people get this way, they get radicalized about everything.
All right, so there is change happening. We pointed out that Ibarra came through New York City. Also, that was the site of the beating of the 4 police officers on tape. And I think you make a good point that what we are seeing exemplifies way more than just a problem with immigration. It's a problem with defund the police. It's a problem with no bail. It's a problem with lawlessness, on and on and on. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.